So I recently did one of my favorite videos I've ever done, which is the heaviest bench press ever, and I covered the 7 human beings to ever bench over 700 plus pounds, and I really nerded out and I got deep into the history of lifting, deep into the stats of each individual lifter of the 7 guys who have benched over 700 plus pounds. It was a really awesome video, amazing B-roll. Very proud of it, had a lot of fun. I know whoever watched it enjoyed it, but I got a lot of feedback asking me why Danial Zamani was not included in it. And in fact, he was actually in the original version, which I uploaded briefly, and then I took it down, put up a revised version with him out of the video. And when I say a lot of people asked, okay, so the YouTube video itself absolutely flopped. It got no views. It was heavily suppressed by the algorithm. I don't know why. I've only seen that happen one other time before. Could have been the fact that I re-uploaded it. I'm gonna leave it up because again, it was an awesome video. It's worth watching. On the Instagram side, I did create a condensed version that kind of highlighted the entire video, compressing everything into a 1-minute version of it. That video clip, as of now, it's been up for about 24 hours and it reached 160,000 views. And that was where all the feedback that I'm talking about was. So people asked about Danial Zamani. Now, quick recap. Danial Zamani, in 2022, he uploaded a video of him benching 804 pounds in the gym. If that lift is real, then it unofficially, because it wasn't done in a meet, it has to be in a meet to be official, but it would unofficially make him the strongest bencher in the world and unofficially make him the first person to bench 800 pounds if it was a real legit lift. There's 2 camps. One camp believes that it was real and that he should be included in the video. The other camp believes that it was fake. So the first reason why I didn't put him in that video kind of appeals to both camps actually. This is like the most diplomatic answer. Is simply because it was not done in a meet, period. Whether you think it was a completely real, legitimate lift, or you think it was totally fake using fake plates. Either way, it wasn't done in a meet. Every one of the guys that I named who benched over 700 pounds, they did so in a meet. It's validated, it's verified. In competitions, they have to weigh and calibrate every single plate to make sure they're exactly the number they say on them. So you know when you're benching 700 pounds in a meet, it is exactly 700 pounds to the T. And they have 3 referees watching to make sure the form is legal, no cheating. You can make some wiggle room with accepting gym lifts when it comes to like the lighter stuff. But with 804, that is such a massive claim. Think about that. You're not only making yourself the 8th person in the world to ever bench over 700 pounds, at least on video, on document, but you're also claiming you are the first human ever, the first human being to ever bench 800 pounds raw. Those are 2 massive claims. And when the stakes are that high, when a claim is that high, when a claim is making that much history in the lifting world, you really can't be lenient on it. You have to be fair. Now let's get into the more hairy, controversial side of it. A lot of people think that's a fake lift. First, there's an argument about the plates being fake. Now, what I will say is the plates looked really real. I have an amazing eye for fake weights because I've been training and obsessively watching videos on training since I was 14 years old. So that's the past, 16 years, 17, what's 32 and a half minus 14? That's how many years I've been doing it. Plus, I've also filmed and edited and rewatched all of my own lifts. And when you obsessively watch weightlifting enough, you can spot little things. Even if somebody's a really good actor with fake plates, there's just a way, like even the way the skin compresses on the hand, the way the arm kind of moves under a heavy maximal load, even the way, especially the way the weight re-racks. And I scrutinized the hell out of that video. It looks really freaking real. You see the bar bending and flexing like crazy. His spotter right before he starts benching is playing with the bar and, you know, moving it up and down. And that is how 800 pounds would look on a bar. It would oscillate the bar like crazy. Doesn't mean it's 804. And I'm not making this claim. I have no proof. I cannot make a claim that those are fake plates unless I have evidence. And I have no evidence, so I cannot make that claim. I'm just speculating here. I'm just talking hypothetically. To be fake plates, it doesn't mean every single plate has to be fake. You can load it up. I remember doing a photo shoot for Mark Bell Slingshot. They wanted to catch photos of me doing 600 pounds using new knee sleeves. And I had just squatted 600 pounds legitimately with real weights, like 20 minutes prior. But obviously I'm not gonna sit there and pose with it. So what we did is I think we had like 405 of real weight and then we put on like 2 fake 45s for the photo shoot. And it looked real as hell. But what helped make it look real was the fact that there was some weight on there. It was 405 pounds. So, you know, the plates were flopping a little bit. There was some strain going on. People comment on the brand. The brand, instead of being Alico, is Elelxo. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correct. And obviously that's usually a big red flag. It's like, all right, using knockoff brands. Is it fake? But it doesn't prove that it's fake because he lives over in Iran and they don't have access to the same sort of import that we have access to, so I don't know if they can even get illegal plates over there. It wouldn't surprise me if there is a legitimate weight brand that is kind of a knockoff on Eleiko being sold over there, and it's Elelxo. So it's a red flag, but it doesn't prove that they're fake. People have pointed out that he's seen deadlifting with more old, tattered, worn plates, and then when he's benching is with these crispy, clean, brand new plates, which sometimes can be a red flag because, again, the normal gym plates get used because they're real weights. You went and ordered fake weights, you just brought them in from the mail, and now they're squeaky clean, and that's what you're using for your bench. But I do want to point out that even the weathered weights he's lifting with are still that weird Elelco brand, so at least it's consistent throughout the gym. I mean, it could have been a new set of plates that were bought. As far as the fake plates go, I have no proof. I can't make a claim. There are some red flags. It looked like real weight, but I'm not there. And this is why it gets tough too, why you need to do it in a meet, because if you do it in a meet, then this speculation goes away. Then these questions go away. You can't even ask the question if it's in a meet. It's definitely real. In the gym, it's like, okay, here's some red flags, but also it looks kind of real and we don't know. The one thing, the third thing, the final thing, the thing that does really make me question the legitimacy of it though, is if you look at his powerlifting history, it doesn't really line up for an 800-pound bench. His best raw lift ever in a meet was around 460 pounds. I'm gonna put the exact numbers on the screen right there, but it's like around 460, 465-ish pounds. And that was at a body weight of 280 pounds. For, you know, regular people in the gym, that's fantastic. 460 is a lot of freaking weight. But when you're talking from a competitive standpoint, and when you're talking somebody who's genetically built to be the best of the best bencher, remember guys, like every sport, genetics play a role. If you're gonna be an 800-pound bencher, you're genetically gonna be a freaking awesome bencher from day one. Examples being, Eric Spoto said he was repping out 2 plates, 225 pounds, at 13 years old when he just started training. I damn sure wasn't doing it at 13. Julius Maddox said the first time he ever benched heavy, his friend just loaded up all the weights they had in this little home gym, and it was like 515 pounds or 525 pounds, and he just got under it and repped it out for 3 reps. And that was when he was brand new. That is genetically phenomenal. Like, you are clearly gonna be an amazing bencher if you pursue it and go down that road. Like, I think Scott Mendelson said he was benching 600 pounds by 18 years old. So these top tier benchers, they show signs of being great benchers really early on at the start. In fairness, this 460-pound raw bench was way back in 2014 when he was in his early 20s. It was in the junior division, so he was between 20 and 22 years old. So he was younger, he was natural, I believe it was tested, and who knows, he could have just been getting started, but still, that's not an elite bench pound for pound on a competitive level. That same year, 2014, over in the IPF, Brett Gibbs at 181 pounds is benching only 50 pounds shy of this guy who's supposedly genetically the best bencher in the world, weighing almost 300 pounds. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of a weird, that's not really showing me, ooh, this dude is a prodigy with the bench. Now, it's kind of hard to gauge moving forward. He didn't really do too much more raw after that. He tried a few different times to break 500 pounds raw, and he bombed out every single time he tried, so he never broke 500 pounds raw in a meet. Again, compared to like Julius' story and Eric and Scott Mendelson, that's a red flag for me. If you're benching 804, you're damn sure an elite bencher, especially benching it that easy. And you can't bench 500 pounds raw though, even with multiple attempts, that's kind of a red flag. And then he went on to mostly equipped after that. His best equipped lift was, I believe, 760. That was single ply, which is definitely a strong bench, single ply. But he never hit 800 single ply. He never hit it. He tried 795, failed it, and he tried 815 twice and failed it in a single ply shirt, equipped. And granted, to be fair, that was, I want to say 2018 maybe. I'm going to put the correct information on the screen. This is, I'm all off the top of my memory. So yeah, so he had a lot of time between 2017, 2018, all the way up to 2022. By 2022, he was on gear. He was a lot bigger. You could tell he gained a lot of size and mass to his body weight, which will definitely help your bench. And he was in his early 30s, which that muscle maturity kicks in. So definitely he could have been bigger and stronger and more enhanced by 2022. But how much more enhanced? To have never hit over 500 pounds in a meet raw and to have failed 795 in a single ply, to suddenly not just benching, but absolutely smoking 805 raw, I don't know. That to me is a huge red flag. And that's all I'll say. I'll keep it very diplomatic. It's a red flag to me. I cannot claim that it was a fake lift because, again, I have no proof. I'm not going to make a claim without evidence. But I will say it's a red flag and it makes me skeptical. The one way to eradicate my skepticism would be to do it officially in a meet. And I know he had a lot of family issues come up and he kind of backed off in the powerlifting, and that's all right and that's all good. I'm not saying saying anything bad about the guy. So at the end of the day, the safest thing to do to respect the honor of these crazy rare 700 plus pound benchers is to only include those who did it in a meet, since all of those guys did it in a meet. Plain and simple. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think his lift was real or not?